Well, since we played a creepy weird game, let's play an awesome weird game instead. We will still be playing as a girl though, or several girls actually, in Anesan. Now this game is a bit loud, I believe, so I might be forced to change the volume in a bit. But we can watch the intro first at least.
Lots of unhappy people. You like that teeth-breaking punch.
And the motorcycle revving continuously on the soundtrack.
Yeah, if there's one thing about this game that is beyond all criticism, it is the soundtrack, because it is amazing.
Anybody read Japanese here?
And marketable skills are not my strong point.
Now for a quick overview of our common victims.
Okay, she looks like someone I'd want to talk to.
So, what is this game about? Well, it is about the Eden High School that, well, decides to take over Japan. And this is done by beating the ever-living shit out of the female gang leaders of other schools. Because that is how these things work. Yep. Well, since it is clearly a bit loud, let's just quickly lower the sound a bit. By about this much, maybe? I don't even know if that made any difference whatsoever. Well. Welcome to the world map. Optics informs me that the CD audio is actually a separate setting. Huh. Let me then quickly lower that. And like about so, maybe. Yeah, that's a lot better. Right, again, welcome to the world map. Here we get to pick who to bring into the fight and who to actually fight. So I'm going to leave it up to the stream chat to pick who we start out with. We have the indomitable leader, the quick fighter, and the huge butch bitch with fists of steel.
Stream seems to be going for butch bitch.
Yep. Alright. And, well, I'll just start from the first level and we'll move up. So, say hello to Makoto.
Hello, Makoto.
Her favorite pastimes involves smashing the shit out of people.
That is one bear of a woman.
That is my kind of woman.
Now, interesting fact, you are incredibly delicate despite your enormous strength in this game. Basically, getting hit only 3 or 4 times, yeah. That's it.
Well, you're still a girl.
So, say hello to I instead, the middle ground character, who who is also the leader of the Eden High School girl gang. She's basically the school defendress, was the one who took the initiative to decide that, well, to ensure that the female students of the high school aren't bullied or attacked or robbed and so on, let's go out and beat up every school in the entirety of Japan. Which makes perfect sense in Anime World.
All the females so far are actually rather exotic. They're not little skinny twigs, despite getting beat up like them. That's awesome in my book. And being a not so tiny little girl.
Yeah, well, I mean, gangs in Japan, especially female gangs, are actually known for being pretty damn brutal. They beat the ever-living shit out of each other and make it more or less of a sport to rob the, shall we say, less physically fortunate.
Yeah, I went to an all-girls school. Girls are brutal, man.
They show no mercy, I know that much.
Well, guys will get in a fight, but then it's over and they're friends. Girls will just take the hate and harbor it and grow it from a tiny little seed into a giant oak tree.
Also, I love that once you actually defeat an enemy, they always fly off screen, so I just pulled the girl's hair so hard that she went flying off screen. How can you not love a game that lets you do that? The actual fighting mechanics themselves aren't that advanced though. You basically have one attack button and one jump button.
Yeah, it worked for Final Fight.
Yeah. And now we are up against our first boss. And first we have the completely necessary exchange of who the fuck do you think you are? I'm going to rip your head off, you silly little bitch. Etc, etc. Now, each boss has, well, at least one special attack.
She calls in the backup dancers.
Yep, and then we simply pull on her hair until she cries for her uncle.
It's Jerry Springer the game.
It's realistic, too.
And so we walk off into the distance and continue our reign of terror. Now, the interesting thing is that after defeating a boss, we can actually play as that boss. They all become available as characters.
That is really cool.
Except for the last boss, I would suspect. I only tried this game out for a short while, so I never really got that far.
Why are all the enemies wearing, like, work jumper suits?
Well, that's good clothes to ride around on bikes in, and that is what gangs in Japan generally do. They run around on these completely ridiculously over-modified bikes.
Wait, so if people who modify cars are racers, what are people who over-modify bikes?
Bosuzuku is the official Japanese term, and it basically translates roughly to loud and nasty group. The entire point of those things is basically to bother everyone else around you by having an extremely gaudy, shiny and noisy vehicle. Since that is basically as non-Japanese as things get.
So, girl biker gangs and the South would get along really well.
Oh, I suppose.
Now, are you on level 2 now? Did it just auto-select it for you, or is this still part of level 1?
This is still part of level 1. Because here is the actual boss. And there is something horribly, horribly wrong with her eyes.
It just makes it harder to sneak up on her. She's watching both sides at once.
Yeah, I suppose. It's a bit like a bull, you know. They have to turn their heads back and forth to look with both eyes. In any case, she's a belly dancer.
Alright then.
And she has some absolutely incredible kicks if you do get hit by them, and I decided not to. Just staying here for a bit.
The bosses are pretty wussy in this game.
Yeah. I just want to stay here for a bit so that we can listen to her personal theme music.
That's something awesome indeed.
It's just, yeah. I have no idea what's going on with the music. I just literally don't know. Right, so after a long night of beating the shit out of people, it's time to return home. Where we can, among other things, listen to the background music.
Yay! Best part of the game.
There is also the bonus game. And, well, I tried playing the bonus game when I first tried the game, and I had no idea how to do it, and, well, I'm just going to show it off, because... Well, first of all, we need to pick a character, so let's just, let's pick I for sake of ease.
This is the bonus game?
Yep.
That was like every date I've ever been on. They start out just looking normal and get madder and madder and then turn into a monster and scream at me.
Yeah.
You just have to mash the button?
Yeah, you have to swirl the D-pad and mash the buttons, and then it switches up and you apparently have to change which button, because smashing that button will make it go down instead. And it's basically whoever reaches demon phase first wins. I have no idea. Well, since we've picked up the cheerleader gangster here, we can actually buy new jackets.
Ooh, fancy.
So let's pick up that really expensive black jacket, because that looks really rad. I like that. Now notice that it actually hangs on the wall in the room.
Don't bother wearing it.
Another thing that hangs on the wall is her actual school uniform, but I have no idea why that's even there. It's not like she ever goes to school. Thompson asks if the jackets do anything. No, from what I have been able to discern, they do nothing. I suspect they are simply trophies, basically, claimed from other schools. In any case, time to head on to the next area, and let's switch out to a different character. Apparently now we are in the Vixen area. And this is not going very well at all. Nope.
You didn't go flying off the screen.
Yeah, actually, I think that is pretty much the only thing this game is missing. If you two went flying on the screen when you were beat, and you could just tag in a new character right then and there, that would, yeah, that would probably make this the best brawler on the system. And yes, I just kicked a prone person, because apparently that's something you do.
But when you have no scruples and you're a bad, mean girl gang, yeah, that's definitely something you do.
Kick them when they're down.
Yep.
Scooters.
Yep. Now look at that motorcycle here in the background. This is what I'm talking about. Hilariously modded. That it actually has a bulbous bow modeled after the Japanese battleship Yamato. This is incredibly popular. And on this little extra built bow, you generally put as many lights as your battery could possibly power. Why? Because it
Lights
will
are
have more
cool, man.
lights.
Yeah, status,
Lights
that's
are cool.
cool.
So to be fair, the one in the background only has one.
Oh, true, true. Yeah, that green one though is probably taking it a bit too far.
Looks like it took an entire other bike and stuck it on the handlebar.
Which is actually not that rare. They actually make double bikes, and well, yeah. So yeah, the frog is actually so high that you have to look through a hole in it to be able to see forwards. It has a share and a huge tail.
Yeah, that looks less like a motorcycle and more like a carnival ride.
And this yellow one, how the hell do you even ride that? You can't see forward, you lean off the side or something.
Apparently you need two riders, one to lean left and one to lean right to balance it out, I guess.
Huh. Maybe. Fixer Brump wants to know if I'm going to play any Shoaniki games. Well, this is the weird game stream, what do you think? Spoilers, I'm going to play one of the weirdest games to ever come out of Japan on the Weird Game Stream. I hope you're not too shocked and surprised.
I can't find the words. It's incredible. How would you even have thought of that?
So,
Why
in the
are there
United
so many of these
States,
girls?
if
Can't
your
they
bumper's
just...
falling off,
Yeah, I think it's interesting that the first car we see looks like someone has actually just neglected it, because it's not as cool as an actual bike.
we use duct tape. Apparently they use some kind of anchor device.
I like to think they were trying for a cow catcher sort
Wow,
of thing.
her portrait, what the hell?
Ooh.
It's a lot of neck to break. Oof.
Really like the theme music though.
Very doo-woppy, that is catchy.
Okay, and she can apparently breathe fire. That's dangerous. Please, don't get up, I insist.
You've yet to encounter a boss that has given you the slightest bit of trouble.
Yeah, well, actually, the funny thing is that since the bosses then turn into playable characters, they actually have the same amount of health as they do as a playable character. This is basically completely amazing, because how many games have you played where you get to fight a tough boss and then the boss turns into a PC and you realize, well, oops, his stats are shit and he doesn't have access to any of the attacks he used against me. This game does not do that. This game only lets the boss have one unique attack that you can't use. Apart from that, they are exactly the same character when you are playing as them. And that deserves all credit, really.
Yeah, that is definitely a positive.
Ooh, they catch on fire and go off the screen.
Yep. Be careful when driving mopeds around angry women that can jump kick. And so they all flew off into space and disappeared.
Oh, I'm actually gonna miss him.
Yeah. Let's see if we can skip this intro and get in the game again, because honestly, I really want to show off the characters that we ended up not seeing very much. Now, she is a fast character, and she has this strange little rush combo when she runs through an enemy while kicking and kneeing them in the groin. Well,
that
this
shouldn't
can
work
be
against women. Did I just shatter your logic?
Well, actually, if you had ever been kneed in the groin with any sort of purpose behind it, you would realize that it's actually pretty effective against women as well.
Wait, this isn't from personal experience, right? You just heard this through a friend of a friend, I hope?
I've done martial arts, trust me, I know these things.
Ah, Arthur's cooler than me again.
Yeah, he always wins at the cool contest.
He kinda does.
I even won the popularity contest on YouTube. I was everyone's favorite commentator in these videos.
Nice.
Which I honestly really hope I am, because otherwise it would be pretty sad.
I like that little reference to me as the lady. No one's ever called me a lady before.
Congratulations, you're the female. Thanks for breaking up the sausage fest.
Hey, Pinchy lets me know that the stream's working better. Well, that's wonderful. Well, apparently she can just stomps on people when they're down. Damn. Let's see, do we have access to other areas? Yes, we do. Let's go over here. See if we can actually get some actual punching in with Makoto, because she's really a funny character, because she's basically Hagar, only she's a blonde girl with a pompadour.
Now, are those handkerchief masks for anything? I mean,
Well, it's basically so that the police doesn't recognize you.
Yeah,
Makes
you're
it a
not
bit
gonna
easier to get
recognize
away.
in Japan a 6-foot-tall blonde woman with a pompadour.
Hey, you didn't see her face, you can't prove it was her. You can't just walk up to any 6-foot-tall woman and go, hey, you look suspicious.
Yeah, all two of them.
Why does it always have to be a doctor's threat?
Well, it is Japan. They have a lot of codes.
Yeah, I suppose.
And dock workers are usually badasses.
I just love these mixed-in voice clips. They just...
Well, what else are you gonna do with all that CD space?
Yeah, I mean, it's not like the game itself is incredibly beautiful. I mean, sure, the graphics are crisp, and the backgrounds are actually really nice. They put a lot of effort into the backgrounds. But, I mean, seriously, this game is 500 megabytes. I mean, even
awesome.
uncompressed, I mean, these graphics would not take more than a few dozen megabytes at best. So it's something like 400 megabytes of uncompressed Redbook audio.
That's the way we had it back in the days. It's just the video game and the music are two completely separate entities. I used to like to put Redbook audio CDs in my CD player and just listen to them and think that was cool.
Now you need to buy the collector's edition to do that.
Yep.
There were some games that did have, you know, the soundtrack on and had little hidden things. I remember Castlevania Symphony of the Night had Alucard playing an idiot.
Yes, that little message, yeah. Or the Saturn version of Tempest 2000 had the soundtrack of Tempest 2000.
Oh, hey. Glad to hear that. Wow, she just kicked someone off screen from the ground. That's, huh. Say what you want about these ladies, but they are pretty badass. Only now they are angels.
They're badass
Actually,
angels.
Yeah.
Yep, now they kick ass up in heaven.
And how? Right, well, I think that we've seen pretty much everything that Anesan has to offer, really. We even got to play the bonus game, for crying out loud, and that... well, Thomas wants to know what the heck is happening in this photo sequence. Well, it basically shows two of the main characters being bullied for a long time, and then a mysterious high schooler appears and beats the shit out of the bullies. And that's when their dream begins to become badass bully kickers.
I don't know why
And
you'd
so
keep a photo memorabilia of getting your ass kicked, but that's just from someone who got his ass kicked a lot.
Well, more than that, who's taking the pictures?
Well, in most Japanese TV series and so on, there is always someone who is obsessed with photography or working for the school newspaper, and they tend to take pictures of everything. I don't know, it's a cultural thing. They just expect someone to be there with a camera, I guess.